You've been angry over a phrase in the movie that makes a brother lecture. Lang Dang went to jail. You thought you would spend your whole life in prison but traveled to another parallel world. In this world, you are the righteous underworld big brother. A bunch of brothers. It is also a fierce look. You know that I have experience in past lives. If you continue to insist on going your own way, it is bound to repeat the path of a past life. It just so happens that you awaken the big director system and found the film industry in this world is extremely withered. On the screen are not trainees who have been practicing for 2.5 years. It's a little fresh meat with no acting skills. And you look at the crowd of Wen Long painting tigers who follow you. The brothers decided to shoot the hottest capture in their previous life inside a dilapidated restaurant where the class is at the moment. Several people who drew tigers sat at a table. They all had different expressions. Listen attentively to the script you say. Your voice fell. It seems to remind him of that paragraph again. Years of burning passion. Someone listened with enthusiasm. Someone heard it with tears in their eyes. When your story is finished, many people have not yet recovered from their composure. You look around and are very happy with the effect. But I didn't think about it. My own story is so well told. Such a group of macho men are in tears. Suddenly one of them, Lao Sanmeng, slapped the table. Just rush your script. I don't have to think about it. Anyway, Lao Su stepped on the horse, and this restaurant did not make money. In another 2 years, I am afraid that the coffin will have to be lost. Might as well fight with you. The third man seemed calm. In fact, temper is the most sexual as fire. And it's very moral. You of the original Lord bore all the blame alone. The Po brothers are safe and sound. For this matter, the third man always had guilt in his heart. For this matter, now there is finally a place to pay back. And the other brothers listened. I was a little excited afterwards. If it's to shoot those romance idol dramas, they are certainly inferior to others. But if you make a film like Confused Boy, they dare to guarantee that no one is more like them. Because once they were, now the script for making a movie has a director. Naturally, it goes without saying that it must be you. But a lot of other talent is needed. For example, prop masters, makeup artist assistants, and so on. And now there is a great need for one to live in. Because now there are nicknames around me. You can't support it all on your own. There has to be another insider. Help share the pressure. So, you're on top of talent acquisition software posting advertisements to save members money. A dozen of you in a row continue to advertise on it. It's about increasing exposure. The effort pays off. Finally let you make it. Gom found a graduate of a prestigious school. You have to know your kind of grass team. Able to fool graduates of prestigious schools. That's not easy. In fact, this matter is also very coincidental. As a Moses College, this one, the second best film in the country, the Wu family who graduated from school. It is said that it is a high-quality student who is never for the country. But the weather is unpredictable. Unlucky, he was receiving his diploma. It happens to be an epidemic of pen disease. Sheng Sheng rested at home for half a year. However, when he got better, only to find a very pit daddy problem. The school's job fair is long gone. The Wu family, which has been in a year, is anxious. You have to find a job to stabilize quickly. It just so happens that you post an ad. It is very in line with Wu Jiajia's requirements. The salary is not high, but it is very free. The work is also very flexible. And the company is just getting started. There isn't much business here either, but it's a good opportunity to practice your skills and gain experience for future job changes. With this mindset, Wu Jiajia applied for a job and went for an interview today. However, upon arriving at the interview location, the Wu family suddenly felt extreme uneasiness in their hearts. It turned out to be a snack street, even though the sign claimed it was a film and television company. The place seemed rushed, and even the glass on the gate had words related to stir-frying. It made them doubt if this was really a legitimate company. But as they say, good things come unexpectedly. The Wu family woke up early, freshened up, and rushed to the location, spending a total of 5 hours. If they were to leave without trying, they would feel utterly defeated. Surprisingly, this place was actually the restaurant owned by Lao San, one of the brothers. They had spent the previous night searching for advertisers, customizing branding, and transforming private rooms into makeshift offices. However, there were no doors in these offices, only thin bamboo curtains separating them. The Wu family nervously entered one of the rooms, following the guidance of a sticker with the office logo. They wanted to knock on the door but hesitated. Finally, they whispered outside the room, introducing themselves as Wu Jiajia and asking if it was convenient to come in. Inside the room, you, the boss, were caught off guard as you rubbed your temples. You asked if Wu Jiajia, a recent college graduate, had any money on them. Wu Jiajia was stunned by the question, as their family had limited financial resources. They hadn't brought much money with them, but they needed to find a job quickly. Without fully understanding the situation, Wu Jiajia shook their head, indicating they didn't have much money left, less than $300. In response, you slammed the table, expressing your liking for talented individuals like Wu Jiajia and poor college students. You offered to advance their salary for 1 month, which left the Wu family speechless. Overwhelmed, Wu Jiajia burst into tears, fearing the worst. But you reassured them that you weren't trying to exploit them. You clarified that you were serious about your business and welcomed top students like Wu Jiajia. You handed them $2,000, instructing them to rent a house and buy appropriate outfits for work. The next day, they could start reporting to work without any issues. Wu Jiajia, with tearful eyes, realized that maybe you weren't as bad as they initially thought. Lao San, jokingly referring to Wu Jiajia's slim figure, encouraged him to eat more. As the others outside dispersed and returned to their work, Wu Jiajia finally gathered the courage to ask about the unique employees in your company. Understanding the significance of their question, you pondered for a moment. You couldn't afford to give a wrong answer, fearing that Wu Jiajia might change their mind. You explained that at the beginning, what the company needed most was talent. Remembering your past experiences, you emphasized the need to guide and support young, beautiful students who aspired to be in the film industry. You didn't want to deceive anyone. Rather, you aimed to reshape and revitalize the film and television industry. Hearing your passionate words, the Wu family's eyes sparkled. Intrigued, they realized that after being idle at home for a long time following graduation, they now had a chance for a bright future. They eagerly accepted the opportunity, assuring you that your company perfectly aligned with their expectations. Even if the company faced difficulties, they were willing to accept a lower salary. They believed it was their responsibility to revive the glory of the new film industry. Delighted by their enthusiasm, you patted Wu Jiajia on the shoulder and entrusted them with an important task. They eagerly awaited your instructions. You instructed Wu Jiajia to find a real estate agent and sell their house. This surprising request left not only Wu Jiajia but also Lao San in disbelief. They were concerned about where the Wu family would live if they sold their ancestral home. However, you reassured them that it wasn't a problem and that you had a plan. With the house sold for a higher price than expected, $4 million, the Wu family realized the potential of this decision. With the money in hand, the next step was to make calls and gather the brothers together. The brothers thought something had gone wrong at the mall, as they rushed to join you in a taxi. It was revealed that you needed to buy props, and these brothers bought some clothes for the movie. Although it would have been cheaper to contact garment factories directly, your current financial situation didn't allow for it. Overtime work was necessary to catch up, and a movie was planned to generate funds. As long as the capital chain was working, everything would fall into place. Indeed, the beginning of everything was challenging. Lao San led the group, and together, they embarked on this new journey. The brothers arrived at the entrance of the mall, and upon realizing they had come for shopping, they felt relieved. In today's world, it's best to maintain peace and avoid unnecessary actions. Their presence, accompanied by a dozen intimidating-looking individuals, caused people around to unconsciously make way. There was a faint smile on their faces, although they didn't intend to attract attention. Yet, the anger emanating from the group was palpable, creating an aura that deterred others from approaching, even without any hostility. They always felt a sense of fear from those who laid eyes on them. As they entered the mall, the security guard hiding near the entrance finally emerged, holding a walkie-talkie in his hand. Anxious, he contacted the manager, who was occupied with playing a certain popular game in his office. Just as the manager was about to destroy the enemy base, he was startled by the voice coming through the intercom. Listening intently, his brows furrowed upon realizing that trouble was brewing. Annoyed, the manager responded sharply to the security guard, questioning why he was being contacted when it was his duty to handle such situations. The security guard's explanation left the manager momentarily speechless. It wasn't that he hadn't tried to stop the group, but their intimidating presence was overwhelming. The manager was concerned that if he confronted them, he might end up in the intensive care unit. The cleaning staff, overhearing the conversation, couldn't contain their frustration and scolded the security guard. They pointed out the numerous security cameras and witnesses present in the mall and questioned how someone could dare to cause trouble in broad daylight. Refusing to believe that such bandits still existed, the manager instructed the security captain to go down and assess the situation. Additionally, he wanted the security guard at the entrance to be criticized for allowing a few individuals to scare him. The security captain wasted no time and entered the elevator. The group of more than a dozen people stood out conspicuously in the mall, despite their attempts to maintain a low profile. People instinctively avoided them, and as they walked, someone tapped you on the shoulder, leaving you momentarily stunned. Turning back with surprise, you realized that in your line of work, only two types of people would dare to do that: close allies or a boss. It was a provocation of a different kind, as these were former brothers, now seemingly antagonistic towards you. While the greasy man in uniform questioned if there was something amiss, the other brothers didn't see it that way. Some habits die hard, especially for the hot-tempered third man. He squinted and approached you, issuing a dangerous statement. Brother Lang asked you if you heard him or if you were deliberately seeking trouble. His words triggered the other brothers, who gathered around, emanating a manic aura. The security captain, being more of a pushover and averse to confrontation, was ill-equipped to deal with these bloodied bastards. Surrounded by them, the sense of intimidation multiplied, and cold sweat ran down his greasy face. Suddenly, a realization dawned upon him. He noticed that several of them were new customers who might not be aware of the situation. Taking charge, he spoke up, introducing himself as the security captain and offering assistance if they needed any information. After all, he was responsible for security in the mall, and he would provide them with guidance if they were unfamiliar with the surroundings. Although we initially thought the security here was friendly, he waved us off, saying it wasn't necessary. So, my brothers and I strolled around aimlessly, leaving you to attend to your duties. As we hurriedly made our way, the security captain, running alongside us, communicated with the boss through the walkie-talkie. Neither of them could make sense of the situation since the opposing party was too intimidating. In the clothing section on the second floor, the security captain helplessly retracted his hands, frustrated by the malfunctioning machines. He expressed his annoyance and decided to investigate the issue. He aimed to resolve it swiftly so he could return and continue playing his game. Thus, he reluctantly embarked on the arduous task, traversing the internal passage up to the second floor in haste. Unfortunately, due to his rushed exit, he unexpectedly collided with our group. As he looked up, he was met with more than a dozen unfriendly stares. Squinting, he noticed the security captain standing nearby, continuously observing the situation. It became apparent to me that this guy was the reason the other security guards remained silent. Speaking ill of us here would ultimately be detrimental to them. Well, shame on them for their cowardice. Following suit, the manager, showcasing his remarkable ability to change faces, addressed us with a forced smile, asking if we were enjoying our shopping experience. He introduced himself as the manager of the mall and offered his assistance if we needed anything. His expression mirrored that of the previous security captain, Pitiful, just like a dog. Some individuals with keen eyes could see through their act but chose to remain silent. Since we were already here, we couldn't expect to leave easily. I contemplated how I could save some money, and with a peculiar smile, I stepped forward. Since the manager was so welcoming, I suggested he lead the way and ensure we received discounts on our purchases. It tempted the manager to refuse, but the menacing look in your eyes made him hesitate. He feared that refusing would lead to an immediate confrontation. The situation was undeniably ugly. Reluctantly, the manager complied, and we began selecting a wide range of everyday clothing at discounted prices. Over the following days, you utilized the remaining balance on your card to purchase props for an upcoming film shoot in the studio. As you observed your brothers beside you, you stood up and applauded, expressing your joy. It was time to celebrate. We decided to take a company family photo in the studio and upload it to our account, simultaneously celebrating the impending release of our first movie. However, due to the studio's limited space, accommodating all 30 of us proved challenging. We had to split into 2 shots, with half of the group squatting while the rest stood to fit everyone in. It created an unusual composition, half crouched, half standing. After taking the photo, we stared at it for 5 minutes, becoming increasingly familiar with the faces captured. This group was truly an assembly of misfits, each with sharp eyes that could make someone feel indebted for millions. If we didn't know any better, we would have thought it was a gathering in a prison. How did this escape scrutiny? It worried us. To enhance the video captured on our mobile phones, we applied some editing before directly sending it out. We even purchased some traffic to assess its impact. You didn't pay it much attention and simply transferred the funds to Wu Jiajia to manage. The day passed, and the next day arrived, bringing astonishing results. Our videos garnered hundreds of thousands of views and broke 100,000 likes. Our fan base grew to 8,000. Most outrageously, the comment section became a battlefield, with countless individuals engaging in heated arguments and mockery. Man, I ain't blind, and that sign actually says, Film and Television Company. I've been hearing about this stuff for a while, shooting all kinds of movies. But now, there ain't no big shots or entourage around. These guys' eyes are just too intimidating. We gotta take things one step at a time. These comments you're reading, they're both hilarious and frustrating. Can't tell if time is making us happy or sad. You're starting work in the afternoon, but first, you gotta shoot a trailer. Gotta get those garbage bags out there early, so the box office numbers can soar. You're about to start shooting directly. Part 3. Raptors Cross the River. It's the most iconic part of the Puzzle Boys series, with many memorable scenes. You plan to shoot it in an abandoned building, the part where the protagonist fights the little brother. It showcases the brutality of the characters and the selling point of the show. It's all about being passionate, driven by grudges in the martial world, brotherhood, and the thrill of the unknown. To get the actors in the right mindset, you've been talking to them in the car, sharing the backstory of the drama. You even lit up a cigarette to set the mood. When the third guy got out of the car, he was still immersed in the role, exuding an arrogant aura. And to make it more authentic, they brought along plenty of machetes, both for show and effectiveness. You all carried those machetes up the rickety building. It's a pretty remote location, hardly anyone comes here, so none of you were paying much attention. But today, luck wasn't on your side. Someone actually passed by and saw their arrogant faces, pulling machetes out of the car. The guy quickly hid in the corner, trembling with fear. Hell no, as responsible citizens, we can't let this go down like that. You whipped out your phone and dialed the police in a hurry. Meanwhile, your group was still getting ready on the set. Suddenly, sirens blared from below, followed by a loudspeaker shouting, "Drop your weapons. Stop arguing. Special measures will be taken if necessary." You rushed to the window and looked down, witnessing a sea of police cars parked below. Countless officers armed with riot shields and rifles were on high alert, scanning the area nervously.